So freaks, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Think about that. Whatever is normal is common. And we're not here for common. This is the SEMA show. Every vehicle here is built to stand out from the rest. And while some people may find rusted zoomies to be freakish or weird, guys like me, we like this stuff. So Angry Tom Taylor is here from Hot Rod Magazine looking for what he calls freak shows.
Well, it's SEMA, so there's always going to be something
unique.
Unique, thank you. This is one of the more unique pieces here.
Kind of says that like it's a bad thing. I say it's not. Case in point, Stubby Bob. If you're a fan of roadkill, you've seen this thing. This was a 1950 Ford F6 2-ton dump truck that we cut 4 feet off of, put a big block Chevy in backwards, and now it does wheelies and tries to kill me. Yeah, freak show, but in a good way.
I'm always curious to see what you got going on, man, but I'm not digging this. Nah.
So I drug along KJ Jones, editor of Diesel Power Magazine and fellow cynic, to try and help make sense of the sea of freaks this year at the SEMA show in Las Vegas.
But there's a 51 Cadillac, 58 Chevy Impala roofline.
Like, what are you saying? It's an early 50s Cadillac with an Impala top on it?
An Impala top.
That's pretty weird. I want to see this.
Knee-jerk thought.
My knee-jerk thought? I don't know. It's wood. and it's real.
You want to know what my knee-jerk thought is, Tom?
What?
Yabba dabba do. This is Fred Flintstone's sports coupe.
Yeah.
Leave Wilma and the baby at the house, go out on a Sunday morning.
I came here to help out as a nobody, okay? And then got invited back as a international rat rod build-off. So Michael Lightbourne, he's a world famous car finder. He found the Orbitron and stuff like that. Michael Lightbourne, you know, he came up with the idea of the Rolls Royce. And I said, well, how are we going to incorporate Michael Lightbourne from the US, because he's like, you know, the best car finder in the world. Mexico Street Toys, these are the guys that grafted every hour to build this car, and England. So I worked my ass off with sponsors. Me and my dad, Derek, we sleep on the floor in Juarez in the shop building this car. And we got a 69 LS6 up front, the best freaking V8 power in the world. Bit of Hillborn fuel injection, so that's the American muscle. I mean, that's what the heartbeat is, right? Then you got the original 1936 Rolls-Royce body. I mean, this is number 41 off the production line. We found out 2 weeks ago this was owned by the richest man in Europe in 1936. Wait for the story, it gets better, okay? Not only was he the richest man in 1936, but he was a bit fruity in the bedroom department. He was an MI5 spy, okay? He was friends with Queen Mary, Winston Churchill, and Hitler. He had a parrot that he used to put down his trousers. He used to open with his claw, the zip, and put his head out at functions. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. You couldn't write this stuff. Lord Tredegar. There's stories, there's houses named after this guy, there's roads in London named after this guy.
No offense. Is this body valuable?
Well, to be honest, before we cut it up, you know, it was probably a $60,000 to $70,000 car, okay?
Was it a complete car?
It was a complete running and driving car with no paint. You know, it had no paint. The guys had it for 50 years. And Michael Lightbourne, you know how he is. He is very, very persuasive when it comes to something that he wants.
I assume it runs. I see suspension and it looks...
Oh yeah, right, the suspension.
Yeah. Oh, it's hot. Wow, they must have had it on. Would you trust this roll bar? What powers this thing?
There's 8 group 30H batteries, so they're 100 volts of lead gel batteries that power both turbines and a motor on the differential, electric motor on the differential. So it's totally electric.
Now I'm digging it.
We thought that the turbine thing was like...
Static.
Yeah, like just...
No, they won't take it from a dead stop, but as soon as you go 3 or 4 or 5 miles an hour, the turbines will kick in and...
Really? So does it sound like it's...
Whines like a jet engine, you bet. Yeah. Watch your hair. Don't get your hair caught in that turbine.
Well, I don't have any hair, so
I got the same problem.
How fast have you had this thing?
So Guinness was there, and we got up to 47. We did 17 runs that day, and the fastest one was 55 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
One tree, one log, everything on the car is out of the same log. They even sliced the log and then put it in a jig to make their own plywood for the fenders and also for the steering wheel they built.
So it is all actually one tree?
It is all out of one tree. And then if you look at the growth rings, this tree started growing in 1776 when the U.S. became a country.
It's Western red cedar.
Western red cedar.
Termites don't go in it. It doesn't check. It doesn't rot. It's very stable. Well, it's Sherwin-Williams log finish.
Right on.
10 coats of finish on here, hand rubbed and sanded between every coat.
Okay. You decided you were going to do this for what reason? Or,
Well, everybody can build a Mustang. We wanted to do something different to raise awareness for PTSD and for the Medal of Honor.
Right.
So what better way to do it? I believe it's the most photographed car here.
Is this going to be sold at Barrett-Jackson in January for the proceeds to benefit the Congressional Medal of Honor Winners Association? Hot rodding is just that. You take all these parts and combine them together and use them.
absolutely, there are no rules with hot rod. It's the Cedar Rocket, they just told me. I've had so many Cokes that if I was going to have gallstones, I would have had them by now.
Okay.
Is this another diesel piece of They shouldn't allow these in Hot Rod Magazine. I've said it.
All right. Well, this
But it's-
time they're getting in. And Scott, what are you working with here? What type of vehicle do you have?
Well, this is a 49 Ford truck.
49 Ford.
It's a purpose-built tube frame race truck from the ground up.
Did you paint it?
No, this is the original patina. All I did to it was power wash it and throw some oil on it. So
Okay, what is this truck for?
it's for road racing and land speed racing.
Having fun, going fast.
And then
Hot Rod does that, right?
I put
They
a
used
little,
to.
I put a little extra steering angle in it so you could go sideways and use the handbrake too.
So it's for drifting, it's for everything.
This is my personal truck.
Okay.
So it's got a 5.9 liter Cummins common rail out of a Freightliner truck, compound turbocharging with a Silver Bullet 66 and Big Brother 91 millimeter turbos from Industrial Injection. It's a
This is
purpose-built
used
road race
bitching.
truck.
It's bitching.
Yeah.
It's really past bitching,
Full
Diesels can be
containment.
cool.
Yeah.
You've got probably a $80,000 chassis, drivetrain components, and engine on about a $200 body.
You are exact. So check it out. The truck was on Craigslist for $300. I bought it for $225. And there's $88,000 in hard parts on this truck.
See?
So, and that doesn't include the chassis work and the hours. There's about 3,000 hours of work in the truck.
When the body costs $220, you can put your hands on it like you've been doing too.
All these SEMA show cars are fake. None of them really run, right?
No, this one's actually ready to go.
Have you driven it at all yet?
Yeah.
How many miles you got on it? Like 10?
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
It's horrifying.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it makes 1,200 horsepower and 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. So
All
it
right.
weighs, and here's the kicker.
Keep hating
It's
on diesel.
3,360 pounds.
Wow.
So there's the freakishness of it.
Let's take it to the drive.
Over 2,000 pounds of torque, lightweight, $200 body. This is nuts. So what do you estimate? Like if you did like Mojave Mile or something, how fast do you think this will go?
200 miles an hour in the Texas mile is what we're trying to go for.
You're going for 200 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And in a quarter, how much?
I have no idea. It's not really designed for it, but hey, if you guys want to go play, we'll do it.
Yeah.
One of the funniest things about this video and this SEMA event is we're supposed to be talking about freaks, and apparently people think I'm a lunatic and that's freaky. This makes perfect sense to me. That's 711 cubic inches of Sonny Leonard Hemi goodness with twin precision turbochargers on it. I have no idea how much horsepower it makes, but I know I put 2 seats in it for a reason, and nobody will take me up on the offer of riding in it except my wife. Here's my favorite part about this deal. I built these stainless steel headers from a kit that I bought from stainlessheaders.com. You buy all the separate pieces and bends, chop them up however many way you want, and then you weld them together yourself. And so I mounted the turbos here so that I could face the outlets right there, and I ran the charge pipe right through the billet intake manifold. And that goes down to an intercooler that turns around and is plumbed right into a massive AccuFab throttle body. I dynoed the engine without the turbos, and it made 1,275 horsepower at 7,400 RPM with 91 octane gas. Now we've added turbos. I haven't dynoed the engine again. I have no clue how much power it makes. I just know that it's going to peel my face back into a permanent grin when I get to drive it.
Right here, just real Stevie Deach's Gran Torino Sport.
I love these body styles. 72, 73, they only made them 2 years. How come they only made them 2 years when they look so much better than the other one?
The Grand Sport was the 460 option car. The owner of Sunrise, this was his personal car originally.
Really?
Yes. Said we grafted the 72 hood scoop into the 73 hood.
You know you could get a 4-speed in a 1980 LTD?
Gator. Did you ever see the movie Gator with Burt Reynolds?
No.
4-speed LTD.
And you know, Michael had this crazy idea. So this is an international build-off, right? So we got the UK, we've got the Mexicans, UK, and Americans, right? How do we incorporate the Mexicans in this crazy thing, right? So Mike's like, well, in England in 1936, leather was real popular, okay, because you can get any cow. Cotton and cloths were the stuff that the man in the back had. He had his nice soft plush seats, right? So, you know, the Mexican drug lords, they ride around the back of this. They got their Mexican shot glass, they got their shot glasses, they got the Mexican blankets. We're just trying to incorporate everyone and have some fun, you know?
Michael's okay with that?
Michael's behind you, and he's got to be okay with it, right?
Chassis is all aluminum?
Full aluminum chassis.
So have you guys like weighed this car?
No, we haven't yet. I can imagine it weighs probably a ton, or I don't know what the metric change to you guys is, but there's not a lot of car here, you know? I mean, it's a lot of stuff taken out of this car. This car used to be about freaking this high. We cut 13.5 inches out of it.
How come everybody's kind of standing back from it?
It's radiating.
I know. It's a 32 Ford Roadster.
Okay,
I'm assuming it's fiberglass because there's no hinges, but I could be wrong.
I'm looking at wow factor.
Oh, it's got the wow factor.
Wow factor from, you know, of course, a color standpoint. It's popping the metallic and such.
You've never been to the Roadster Show?
I've never been to the Roadster Show.
Oh,
I live
man.
45 minutes away from it and have never been to it.
You're a communist. Okay. All right. Then first off, the engine's not real, right?
Yes, real.
With the Zoomies?
Yeah.
Where can you get off running Zoomies?
He lives in
Yeah,
Florida.
they bother us. We live in
He
Florida.
lives
We
in
run one
Florida.
down all the time, yeah.
That's your answer.
Yeah.
So they can get away with doing this in Florida?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
I no wonder there's all the crazies end up in Florida. You guys can do this.
Well, we're transient state. People come and go all the time, so they don't seem to bother us too much. But
671 or
it's an 871. Yeah, it's a blown 502. It was built to be a showpiece to market its material with. I think this the finish like Sonner is going to be your chrome of the future because environmentally, the hard chrome shops are getting shut down. A lot of them. Yep. You know, so it gives people an option to be able to put a chrome look finish on any type of material.
I agree with that.
And the car, we kind of made it to look like resemble a Hot Wheels car. That was the whole plan with the car when we built it.
So have you built any other cars with this Spectrachrome on it?
Yeah, we've built a lot of monster trucks. We've had it on Gravedigger and King Sling and Max D. And it was done originally in 08 and was brought to SEMA in 08. And then we rebuilt it in the last 2 months and went through and freshened the whole car up.
It's a fiberglass car?
It's a fiberglass car.
We're having to walk all over creation. This better be good.
Is that cool?
All right, you did all right. You did all right.
Thank you. You know, I'm a new guy. I get it, but still.
When they chop a top, the big deal is not the chop, but to figure out the glass, curved glass. Jesus, I mean, that's
Cummins
just
diesel in it.
that's just nuts.
BD diesel performance. Set all this up. It's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rod Nielsen.
Where are you out of?
Abbotsford, BC, Canada. You did the article on the AMX I built.
That was yours?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. What are you going to do about the back glass
The
specifically?
back glass, because it's only tempered for this vehicle, we can't cut it. We contacted a company called Optic Armor, and they do the polycarbonate racing glass, and they're already all made. I took the original glass, laid up a fiberglass pattern on the glass. We just ran out of time getting it here, so one of my guys in the shop, 32, had a heart attack, so kind of set us back pretty bad. He's okay.
I wouldn't work for you, dude.
No. Everybody around me has a heart attack and dies.
I mean, they could sue you. They should sue you.
They probably should, yeah.
So what's up with the diesel?
Okay, it is built by Shane at BD Diesel. It has their big P pump on it, 12-valve mechanical deal, 850 twin turbo setup, diesel attitude adjuster, 90 horsepower injectors in it. Crazy Carl's billet pieces are all over it. Yeah, it's got the 47 RH transmission from BD Diesel, full manual valve body, all billet. Cool Coat Coatings does all our coatings, and those are all done with Cerakote Clear to maintain the brightness.
Yeah, the brightness. Otherwise, they tarnish like a penny. So in a way, this thing's like a.
It is a 1-ton, 8-lug diesel Cadillac truck.
Yeah, and the paint's running, dude. What the?
Son built this car in 97 days.
Really? And he didn't get done, right?
Didn't get done. He's 22 years old. He did everything on this car in 97 days except the upholstery.
Where is he now? Is he sleeping?
Should be. We were sponsored. The people pulled out of SEMA. He lost his sponsorship. 10 days ago, 10 days before the show, we get the phone call. Velocity says, we want you. We're sponsoring you. Be here, be on our stage. So he basically didn't sleep from those 10 days till we rolled in here. He slept on the way to Vegas.
I looked at it, I thought, no time. Because there's a lot of work here.
Yeah, he painted this Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. We had to be on the trailer by 9 to be here for the deadline so the car could even be seen.
So it dried on the way.
So it dried on the way, and this is what we opened up the trailer door, and this is what we got.
Ooh.
You know, it happens. 97 days, 2,110 hours from bare metal box tubing frame. It was a four-door 27 T-bucket, made it a 2, brought it down, put a 50 rear clip on it, 50 dash. It's all metal. It's all metal finish. It's all done.
So this is a 50 Ford back end and a 50 Ford dash.
On a 20 with a 27 shell. That was a 4-door that's cut down. To show you the workmanship, it doesn't look like it's been cut down.
So where'd you find the V6 Buick? You had that
It's
like
out of a Grand National.
Sacrilege.
Grand National Buick V6. We had a dyno. It's pulling 1,200 horsepower on alcohol.
What?
Yeah.
Here, come on down. And see, it's got the 50
50 dash the 50 grill into it's a 29 or 30 truck grill's the closest we can get to match the 27.
Sure, at 22 if you can do this, imagine in 10 years.
Well, this is his first car.
Wow.
What's the 10th car going to be?
Exactly. Don't get emotional. don't. Come on now.
Yeah. No, you got to be.
I know.
You know, I'm proud of him.
I hear you. You ought to be.
I told him, be different, be out of the box. Don't go build something somebody else already did.
And this is not something you see every day. And one of the things that blows my mind about it is all of the bare metal work you've done to it and the dimple dyes. And the truck's got really nice patina on it, but none of the work you've done is rusting yet. And in my life, I tend to look at anything and it just starts rusting. So what are you using to keep all of that stuff from turning brown?
It's a lot of maintenance, and also we use what's called Gibbs oil. And it works really well with like if it's out in the elements or whatever, you know, not direct rain, but moisture. And, you know, obviously then you gotta get the Scotch-Brite out and some cleaner.
One of the things I like about coming to SEMA is a lot of the freaky stuff you see, most of it doesn't run. Like there's a lot of stuff here. I've seen a lot of stuff missing bolts, missing drive shafts. I've seen exhaust pipes like just hanging under lifted trucks that actually aren't plumbed to anything. How complete is this thing? Does it run and drive and do donuts?
We've got some miles on it and everything. I wouldn't say we've tried any donuts with it yet, but we'll put it through all the tests when we get back. We did just some regular highway miles and some 3/4 throttle stuff. And we're still tuning it.
All right. And this is a 27, 28
Dodge Brothers sedan.
Dodge sedan. Okay. Just a bare body?
Bare body, that's all there was. No floor, no instrument, nothing, no instrument gas.
And so you probably picked up the body for what, $500?
$500 exactly. Canadian.
Yes. Canadian.
$500 Canadian, so that's like $3 American right now with the exchange on the dollar, but yeah.
All right. And then chassis is?
Custom made. Everything's 100% custom made, custom frame. Front end, solid axle of a 52 Ford truck. The rims are actually 32 Chev trucks. We had to build our adapter place to change them over.
Okay.
This thing is well built. We went ahead and we, you know, if you take a look at these rotors, for example, would have fit a 95 Chev 3/4 ton van.
I was going to say they're truck.
Yeah, truck. Same with these. These are 90 Chevs pickup.
So this front end is a suicide front end.
Well, it's typically a suicide front end. You actually try to flip it around so your steering's on the outside.
Yes.
Just for the way this one worked out, we didn't want to do that. We just didn't have quite enough room. So.
I mean, suicide mount's not a bad thing at all. It's just a way that they mount the spring. And that to me is a suicide mount.
Sure.
That's all. And let me ask this before we get into the engine. So have you driven this thing around?
I have. We haven't. We're kind of in a time crunch to get this thing down to SEMA. It's not like SEMA's going to wait for us, so we're in a time crunch. I had a chance to take it for a rip around town. We got it safety certified. And then once I got it plated, we had a chance to take it around Red Deer and stuff, and it sure turned some heads. It was a lot of fun.
So maybe you got like 30 or 50 miles or something?
Yeah,
on it?
maybe 50 miles on it the most.
But it seems to run out of...
fine, it runs smooth. No real issues with the car. It actually runs really good.
Small block Chevy?
Small block Chevy.
And is a 350 turbo or?
Just a 350.
Okay, 9-inch rear?
No, just a 7-inch rear and a 95 Mustang.
Okay.
We wanted to do something a little bit different with the tappet covers because it's a rat rod. We wanted to have some fun with it. So you can see here that we found the mast. It's an actual mast from 1942. It's actually date stamped on it. We're having some fun, you know, with 52, 53 Cadillac.
Yeah.
Fire extinguisher for the overflow. Like I said, custom frame, fully custom exhaust. Something that you guys have probably never seen before, it's exhaust like that.
No, I never have. I was looking for it. I mean, this is like just open exhaust, right?
Yeah, it's straight open.
How loud is it?
It sounds good, man. It's
start up.
No, I've
you
disconnected the batteries because there's so many guys in there pushing buttons over the last 3 days. I didn't want them to fire it up and hit the Lamborghini that's ahead of us or something.
All right, and interior-wise, where's the back seat?
There is no back seat, sir. We wanted to take a four-door and put it to I think we're quite a bit taller than they were 90 years ago, and I think we need the leg room.
I agree. I owned a 33 four-door sedan for years. I had the seat as far back as I could get it, and I could have used more room, and there was a ton of room in the back.
Yeah.
There's usually a ton of room back here.
Yeah, you bet. And we would have had a little bit more room. We wanted a really high kick. If we don't sell this car, we've got some plans to maybe make some modifications. When we get it back, we'll actually get it so it lays frame. So that's we're gonna get some upgrades coming here right away just to change things up a little bit when we've got some time when we get it home. So we talk about the interior. This stuff here is material that we pulled out of an old farmhouse. The house, I'd say, is probably abandoned for 70 or 80 years. We peeled it off the walls. That's just neat stuff. I believe the shell casing for the heater is out of a 36 international
truck, yeah.
And we're from Canada, man. We need heat. We need to have heat. You know, some of these guys down south, friends of mine from like Brian Daigle and these guys, they're kind of ribbing me a little bit. But you know what? We're from Canada. So light switches in the dash. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. They're fully functional. They're wired in. The one on the right runs all the interior lighting and the HUD display that we have mounted in there. The one on the left runs accessory power, and next to that we have our ignition feed, so we can put power to our distributor.
All right.
There's a Cadillac air compressor sitting next to it. We have bags on the back of this car, so they actually run the bags. They'll actually fire it up and down.
Okay, so this thing is bagged. All right.
Yeah, Tommy gun shifter. It took a few hours to figure out, but we made it work because it's got such a long throw. But we did get it figured out, and it works. It's a lot of fun. The safety glass in the back is another feature that our guys at Fusion Glass and Red Deer came up with. They thought it'd be pretty badass to put some wired glass in the back, so we went with it.
And this car, did this come out of Canada?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's Canadian. What else? Our signal light switches. You guys know where the signal light switches are in this car?
No.
Take a look in the top of the steering wheel there. If your camera guy can see that, there's 2 switches, one on either side. That's our signal light switches for the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, this is Michael Lightborn, so he was involved with this as well. What was the deal with the guy that owned it?
He was up in Connecticut. I found an old ad when he had it for sale, and he didn't want to sell it anymore. It had been in his family for 50 years. So finally, I just kept talking to him and promised him it would get built. I think he was assuming it was going to get restored, but hey, it's going to be probably a lot more famous now than it ever was or would have been restored.
I've never seen an aluminum-bodied car chopped up like this. So cool, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks.